That time, 17-year-old me and company were making a bonfire in the forest when a gang assaulted us. 2 friends got sent to the hospital. So, recently I made a post on how 9-year-old me and my 12-year-old brother hid in the bathroom of our house during a home invasion. And it reminded me of a story that happened a few years after, during my teenage years. Once again, I'm writing this story during the first days of January of the year 2023. So, yeah. This story is kind of a long one, so I will divide it into chapters. Number 1. Pre-reunion. At 6 p.m. I used to participate in a group that did activities intended towards children. We usually went to neighborhoods to make games for the kids and so on. On Halloween, we usually went to give candy to children while on costumes. That night, I was dressed up as the Joker. So, I went to the rally point and met the other guys and girls with whom we were going to give candies. We were about 30 or 40 in total. The night went as planned. We did some games and then we handed out some candies and then we said goodbye. 3 of my best friends were there, and after the activities were over, we sat on a bench and talked about random stuff. Eventually, we got to the topic of Halloween parties and how we never went to one. We really wanted to go to a Halloween party, dance, drink, and do teenager stuff. I'm kind of an introvert, but I've always tried to live my life so when I'm old, I don't have to regret not doing stuff. And partying was one of them. So I too wanted to go to a Halloween party. We called our friends, but no one knew of any party. Eventually we got in touch with our friend Luis, who was 18 at the time, asked him if he wanted to do something. He told us that he was going to round up a few people and then we could go out in 20 minutes. In those 20 minutes we went to a friend's house. We cleaned up, we changed clothes, and then Luis called us back. He told us to go to a park nearby to get together. We went and we reunited with 6 of his friends. 4 of them we knew. The other 2 we didn't, but they were nice. Thinking of what to do next because his house was now unavailable. The reunion at 10 p.m. or 22 hours. We didn't know what to do, so we went to a skateboard park nearby to see one of them do some sick tricks with his kind of eccentric skateboard. We were all in awe, but after a few minutes we got tired down. After that, we went to the cemetery to tell horror stories. Disrespectful, I know, but we were teenagers doing stupid teenager stuff. After that, Louis said, "Hey dude, wanna go to a drink?" When we all said, let's drink, yeah, let's drink. And we went to a convenience store to buy some alcohol. I think I have to say that in Chile, people from 16 on are expected yet not legally allowed to drink unless they are with an adult. And we were with people from 18 to 21 years old. Legal adult age is 18, which is also the drinking age. So, we had the alcohol, but we didn't have a place to go to drink. So, we went to a forest that was about 15 minutes outside of town. We couldn't see anything, so we were with our phones' flashlights on. When we got to a nice quiet spot, we lit up a fire. We made sure that there was no flammable material nearby. In front of us was an open field, and behind us was a wall of bushes. So, as the night went on, we spent hours listening to music and drinking, telling funny stories, laughing, playing tag, etc. It was really a good time, until it wasn't. The incident. This happened at 3 a.m. Before continuing, I think I have to explain what a flaite is. F-L-A-I-T, flaite. In Chile, a flaite is like a gangster. They tend to form gangs. Those who are in gangs tend to be really violent and short-tempered. They usually carry firearms or knives. This is a really vague description, as not all flaites are bad people, and some are very friendly, but it serves the story, so I think it's well enough. Anyways, after a while of dancing and drinking, we were kind of wasted, except for Luis, his girlfriend, and her sister, all of which decided to remain sober in case something came up. We played hide and seek and tag. It was really funny and it was a really good time. Then, while we were dancing, we heard something in the bushes. We thought it was an animal, like a rat or a bird, so we didn't think anything about it. Then we continued dancing around. I remember seeing clear as day a stone going a few centimeters away from my leg. I thought that Luis kicked it, and I told him, "Hey dude, stop kicking rocks this way." He laughed it off and thought I was drunk and joking. While I was kind of wasted, I was still in my senses. Then I saw another rock going in front of my eyes. It was like in slow motion. I looked up and I saw on Luis's face a sheer expression of horror. I got scared as well. The only thing he said to me was,
"Run! Run!"
I was like, "What?" And he screamed at me,
"Run, dude! Someone is throwing rocks!"
I ran back to the town, to the houses and the lights. Behind me, people were screaming, "Run!" and "Hurry!" I ran as fast as I could. I was kind of drunk and the terrain was really muddy. It was really dark and I couldn't see where I was going. And all I knew was that I was running towards the lights. I ran until I reached the same spot where we came from, already in town, then waited. I was alone. No one came. I didn't know where my friends were. After a while, a friend of mine showed up. He screamed at me,
"Dude, give me your jacket or something. They hit Fred in the head."
When they came closer to the light, I saw him helping the other to walk. Upon seeing his face, blood was running down and dripping. I immediately gave him my jacket and called an ambulance. Then, some of my other friends came in, one by one. They all went to Luis's place, because it was nearby. Then Luis came.
"Where is my girlfriend and my sister-in-law?"
He said. I told him that she didn't come through. We sent everyone to their houses, and we waited for the two missing people. We were ready to go and face the people throwing rocks in case they were doing something to them. But then, they appeared. His girlfriend was hysterically screaming,
"They hit my sister. They hit her. She's bleeding."
We went to her, and the whole side of her face was covered in blood. We rushed her to Louis' house, and we made sure we were all there. We were, fortunately, everyone right there. So we calmed down. When the ambulance came, the two who got hit went there. We then called the cops. And after the incident, 3:30 a.m., I remember some of us being in shock. Others were angry, and others were kind of in the middle ground. Luz was raging.
"Oh, these bloody morons."
He kept saying, "We didn't know who threw the rocks. I thought we got in the terrains of someone without knowing, and the owner tried to scare us away. But my friends told me they saw a group of people hiding in the bushes. We left everything at the bonfire, the skateboard, the speaker, some wallets. For me, I had everything safe. Louis then told me and his friends, and my friends,
Dude, let's go find these pukes. Let me call some of my guys and let's go after them.
I was mad but wanted to retrieve some of the stuff, so I told him that we would go, but if there were too many of them, then we would turn back. He called 2 of his friends and in 5 minutes, they were with us. I knew them because of some school stuff, but they were very loyal and they both went to the gym. They were some big fellas, so I felt safe when they came. Eventually, we went out to look for the people who threw rocks. When we were about a block away from the forest, we saw them, walking with our speaker, the skateboard and other stuff we left there. It was almost like a Mexican stand-up. We were a block away from them, and we just stared at each other. There was like 50 of them, and only 6 of us. So we didn't do anything and just turned back. As we got a good look at them, they were clearly flightes or gangsters, so they probably had guns and knives. When we came back home, we ran into a police car. There were 2 of them. One got out of the car. We told them we called and explained the situation very fast. And because we didn't want the guys to run away, we told them immediately where they were. However, the officer told us,
"You are telling me you were drinking, being minors, and then got attacked?"
We told him, yes.
You're telling me you were drinking, being minors, and then got attacked?
And then he responded with the most upsetting shit ever.
"So you minors were drinking, doing a bonfire at the forest in the middle of the night, and are now asking me to give you justice? Don't you kids realize how hypocrite you are?"
I responded with, hey, we were in supervision of 3 adults, and not because we were drinking. We deserve rocks being thrown at our heads, dude. He looked at me with an expression of pure hatred. I was really scared but angry as well. He then repeated himself,
Oh, so you are minors drinking, doing a bonfire at the forest in the middle of the night, and now asking me to give you justice? Don't you realize how hypocrite you are?
We told him the guys were running away as we spoke, but he kept saying it was our fault we were in that situation. A few minutes after, the one inside the car told the officer,
"Hey, let's find the other people and then we can question these kids."
and got the other inside.
Hey, let's find the other people and then we can question these things.
We waited at the house, but they never came back. Eventually, we went all to our respective homes. Louis told us the next day that the policemen never returned. The end. So yeah, that's my story. It was a really scary moment, you know, but I remember it. It kind of makes me smile because I have a good story to tell in moments like this. The 2 that got sent to the hospital had to get stitches in their heads and were hospitalized for a couple of days. After a few days, we spoke of it like it was nothing. But we were really angry at the police. If you got this far, thanks for reading. Peace and love. So yeah, to summarize this, or too long did not read, TLDR, we were making a Halloween bonfire and drinking when a gang started throwing rocks at us, and they then stole some of our belongings. After that, 2 of us got sent to the hospital and we went to face the attackers. When the police came, things didn't go as planned.